Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our main stories. $6 billion investment to flow into Nigerian economy following the president's visit to China. United States government commends Nigeria's efforts to win the war against terror. Federal High Court in Abuja delivers judgment on the application made by Senate President against his trial by the CCT. And an earthquake hits Kumamoto in Japan 20 hours after a similar occurrence in Mashiki town. Do remember that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. And do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. And we encourage you to use the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app. If you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Now to some of the pictures that you sent into our Eyewitness portal. Well, let's begin with this one from a market junction on Aba Road, Port Harcourt in River State, showing a flooded road. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking the government to fix the road. It's followed by this one from Oshogbo, Osun State, showing a failed bridge. And our Eyewitness reporter wants the government to repair it. This next one is from Lagos, showing a bad road, and our Eyewitness reporter is calling on the government to do something about it. We also have this one from Shomolu, also here in Lagos State, showing a broken electric pole. Our Eyewitness reporter is asking the relevant distribution company to look into this. And finally, we have this one from Palm Grove in Lagos State, showing a burnt vehicle. Our Eyewitness reporter says the driver bought fuel in a leaking gallon, which caught fire before he could drive off. He's asking the authorities to discourage the sale of fuel in gallons.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Thanks a lot for sending in all your pictures. We ask you to keep them coming. The Edo State High Court sitting in Benin City, the state capital, has reinstated Osaro Obaze as the elected chairman of Oredo Local Government Council of Edo State. The court's decision also nullifies the state government's suspension of Mr. Obaze from office on October the 6th, 2015. Justice Esohe Ekponwe, while delivering judgment, stated that the grounds for removal of Mr. Obaze from office did not follow due process.
Jubilant scenes at the High Court of Justice in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Justice Esohe Ekponwe has just delivered judgment reinstating Osaro Obaze as the duly elected chairman of Oedo Local Government Area of Edo State. The Oedo Council boss has also been cleared of allegations of misappropriation and diversion of public funds. Olayiwola Afolabi, counsel to Mr. Obaze, says the court's judgment is victory for the judiciary in Edo State.
The day has said today that the man is still the elected democratic chairman of Oredo, and I'm happy. I want the executive, the legislature to have a company judgment. We're happy that we have a judge in Edo State who can say no to any interference by the governor or the speaker. So we're happy today. It was a declarative judgment. And that is what I pray to Almighty God to do for us. And this will create more opportunity for our younger generation, to participate in democracy. Otherwise, we are getting very frustrated and, out of this business of rendering service to our people.
From the High Court, it was straight to Oedo Council headquarters, where the cheering news that the council boss is back to office had already filtered in. The Oedo Council chairman wastes no time in resuming work since his suspension from office on October 6, 2015. He says the first step is to return to status quo ante.
And the power vested on me today by the Court of Competent Jurisdiction, I hereby retain status quo that existed whilst before the suspension. So the secretary is reinstated, the supervisor suspended, all revenue agents to the council that were there and committees in my time should go back and resume their office.
With the chairman, Osaro Obaze, back to work, normalcy is expected to return to Oedo Local Government Council.
Now we have more legal matters, but let's cross over to Abuja now. Linda Akigbe will take us through. Linda.
Hello, Ijoma. Lovely to see you and welcome to Abuja, the nation's capital. Now to legal issues. The Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the suit filed by the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, seeking to stop his trial for alleged non-disclosure of assets at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The Senate President had hinged his suit on the ground that his trial violates his fundamental rights to a fair trial. Justice Abdulkadir Kafarati, however, dismissed the case, saying the fear entertained by the Senate President that he would not get justice at the CCT is speculative and misplaced in law. Our correspondent Amaka Okafor reports.
After 2 weeks of postponement in a case instituted by the Senate President challenging his trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, Justice Abdul Kafarati has dismissed the suit filed by the Senate President seeking to stop his trial at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The judge had on the 22nd of March 2016 declined to deliver the judgment on the grounds that some online media accused him of receiving bribe from the Senate President and may be seen as being biased. But on the 12th of April 2016, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court not only returned the case file to the judge, but ordered him to deliver the judgment immediately. In his judgment, Justice Abdul Kafarati held that the Senate President was wrong in raising the issue of fundamental rights to seek nullification of the trial. Well, in the real sense, his case did not fall within Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution and the African Charter on People and Persons' Rights. He said the court will not interfere with the constitutional duty of the respondents in the case, as doing so will amount to ruling on the Constitution. Justice Kafarati agreed with lawyer to the federal government, Mr. Rotimi Jacobs, that Saraki's case constitutes a gross abuse of court processes, having taken the same case to the Code of Conduct Tribunal, the Court of Appeal, and even the Supreme Court, where decisions were made against him.
The only option open to the applicant, of course, is to appeal. And after we've consulted with our client, we will know what will be the next step to take.
But I'm not surprised. It's a natural thing that, and I'm happy that the rule of law prevails, because we have been saying this for a long time. We have been saying it that this application ought not to have been filed.
The Senate President had filed a suit claiming that he cannot get justice from the Code of Conduct Tribunal because its chairman, Mr. Danladi Umar, is being investigated by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. He feared that the chairman will not do justice to his case, which is being prosecuted by the Anti-Graft Agency rather than the Code of Conduct Bureau. Amaka Okafor, Channels Television News.
The growing rate of crime in Kaduna in recent time has become a source of concern to residents and security agencies. Most worrisome is a new wave of kidnapping of innocent citizens for ransom. Only last month, a 7-army colonel and 3 clergymen were kidnapped from different locations in the state. Both the colonel and one of the pastors died in the custody of the abductors. Worried by the emerging security challenges in Kaduna, the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, has directed the AIG to relocate to Kaduna and fish out the perpetrators.
In the Inspector General of Police directive, a total of 458 suspects have been arrested by the officers and men of the Kaduna Police Command for various offences. Amongst them are women, elderly men and youths. The arrests is the highest number by the command. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 7 says that amongst the number, 28 of them are apprehended in connection with kidnap-related cases, while many have been arrested for interstate car snatching.
A total of 458 suspects were currently in custody and are being interrogated and profiled. 5 AK-47 rifles with many rounds of different types of ammunition have been recovered. A sizable number or quantity of hard drugs as well as Indian hemp and other intoxicants were also recovered.
Some of the kidnapped suspects, however, deny their involvement in the crime. Others say that they were merely arrested by policemen for loitering at about 7 o'clock in the evening.
I was coming from work at the bus stop. I parked my machine, then across I wanted to buy Indomie. Police could just come, then pack everybody that is inside with the one that is eating Indomie, with the people that want to buy Indomie. Up till now, that's what I saw. I did not do anything. I just got back from work.
I went to Kabbalah Ways to buy fuel. On my way to turn around, I saw a police vehicle. I was about to hit the vehicle, but I stopped. He now said, enter car. I said, let me lock my bike. He waited for me until I locked my bike. He now said I should go inside the car, go inside. And I found myself, they bring me to stay from state to this place. It's not right.
For now, all the suspects are being interrogated and profiled and would soon be charged to court. The police then assures residents of Kaduna that the police is working round the clock to ensure the safety of lives and property.
And still on security, worried by increasing incidences of kidnapping, hijacking, hostage taking and attacks on merchant ships along Nigerian waterways, the Navy has set up a maritime task team to nip the menace in the bud. The Chief of Naval Transformation, Rear Admiral Henry Babalola, told journalists that since January the 14th, 2016, there has been an increase of criminal activities on Nigerian waterways. To this end, the Chief of Naval Staff has set up a task team to stop criminals from having access to legitimate shippers and businesses on Nigerian waterways.
The Chief of Naval Staff has directed that we should set up an organization, a task group, a standing task group that will tackle these maritime infringes head on, and in so doing, we have inaugurated Operation Saraki. The idea is to clear our maritime environment of these miscreants, so that we will have the sea areas free and open to legitimate seafarers. And as Saraki, we have a very senior flag officer of the rank of Commodore as the officer in tactical command, and he will have our major ships that he will use. The ships will be NNS Okpabana, NNS Kianwa, NNS Sagbama, and NNS Andoni. The major ships, that is NNS Okpabana and Kianwa, will join in the patrol efforts, and then at some other times of the day, they will be at anchorage offshore the very notorious Brass River entrances up to Akasa, while NNS Kanwa will join the patrol effort and will anchor once in a while from at the Bonny River entrance. The idea is that the other vessels like Sagbama and Andoni, they have some degree of speed, so they will form some kind of linear patrol. The idea is to stave off these criminals from gaining access to the ships legitimately applying their trade in our waters. We also hope to expand the scope of this exercise when NNS Centenaria, NNS Burutu, and NNS Zaria will join after minor repairs.
And when the news at 10 returns, Nestle opens new factory at Abaji at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Join us again.